Alright, this is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and we're going to juice a fruit that many of you guys may want to juice at some point or another. And the fruit that we're going to juice today, obviously, are some pineapples. And pineapples are a problematic fruit to juice in some juicers. Just due to the consistency, it's kind of soft. And many juicers do not like softer consistencies. I personally believe that it's far better to blend your fruits or eat them whole than to juice them. When you juice them, you remove the fiber, and when you remove the fiber, basically you're getting sugar water. Now yes, fruit sugar water made fresh in your juicer is far better than any Coke or diet soda or coffee or caffeinated teas, anything like that. But in my opinion, the vegetable juices are more valuable. That being said, definitely picking up a fresh fruit juice and drinking that instead of a pasteurized juice or a Coke, definitely a good thing in my book. One of the things I like to do sometimes is when I have a fruit that doesn't taste so sweet, I'll actually juice it and remove the fiber, and this actually makes it taste sweeter because now I'm removing all the extra fiber, which lowers the taste sensations. So I like doing this a lot. Now pineapples can be very problematic to juice in the slow juicers, no matter what kind of slow juicer. Matter of fact, on twin gear juicers, if you try to just juice pineapple straight, most times you're going to make a mess and get really frustrated because it's simply not going to work. On the horizontal single auger machines, the pineapples kind of work better than the twin gears, but I like the vertical augers the best for juicing the pineapples. That being said, there's some specific things you need to do that I'm going to share with you guys in this video to get optimal juicing results with the pineapples in the vertical single auger machines, because these machines actually do have a tendency to also get mashed up and get clogged up if you're not doing it appropriately. On the high-speed juicers, the high-speed juicers are actually a fairly good juicer to juice the pineapple. The problem is it puts a lot of extra foam and froth into the pineapple juice, thereby oxidizing the juice more. By far, the best juicer to use for juicing pineapple is like a hydraulic press style machine, and I have a video using a Wells press to juice the pineapples. It works very well, gets the pulp very dry with little froth or anything like that. So with that, I want to share with you guys how to juice the pineapples properly in the Slowstar juicer or any other vertical auger machine. The first thing you want to do is when selecting a pineapple at the store, you're going to want to select a fresh pineapple. This is very important and very critical. As you guys can see, I have a couple different pineapples here on the table. These guys here are, kind of older. You can kind of see the tops, kind of like not looking super vibrant. If I squeeze this, it's kind of actually soft and mushy. This is not a pineapple juice. If you get this pineapple and try to juice it, it will not work. You will make a mess and you will get frustrated because it's going to clog and not work. The juicers require, especially the vertical single auger machines, they require hard, fibrous produce material. Like, think a carrot. The carrot is a perfect thing to juice in the vertical single auger machines. It has a nice fiber, but the fiber is really juicy actually. And it's going to do an excellent job of separating the juice from the fiber, because it's the juice of the fiber that feeds you. And that's what Jay Cordage told me many years ago. But nonetheless, selecting a pineapple that's soft and mushy, not a good idea. It'd be far better to cut this up and actually blend it up, or cut it up and eat it instead of trying to juice it. So for that reason, we got another one here. This is a lot fresher. You can see like the top is still green here, and if we try to squeeze it, it's nice, firm, and hard. Now the nice, firm, and hard ones might not necessarily be a good one to eat, but it's going to be a good one to juice because that's the texture that the juicer likes. So next, let me go ahead and show you guys how to prepare the pineapple for juicing. So we're just going to take the top off. Once we got the top off, we're just going to compost that. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cut off the top and the bottom. I do encourage you guys not to juice the skin of the pineapple. That may clog the juicer up, although it can do that. So I like to cut off the top of the pineapple and the bottom. Just like so, and then I'll place this pineapple on the edge of my cutting board, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice down and slice the skin off. Now, if you're not buying organic pineapples, they are, you know, putting fungicides and spraying fungicides on the pineapple, so you want to ensure you wash your pineapple well, and also you want to, you know, cut off all the skin so you're not putting that through the juicer and you're not going to get any kind of pesticides or fungicides in your juice. One of the things sometimes I like to do is I like to make sure that all the eyes are cut out. Sometimes I might leave a couple because sometimes in the eyes there'll be little bits of mold and whatnot. So as you guys can see, we're just rotating this pineapple around as we're just cutting down one piece at a time. Alright, so now that I'm got most of this cut out, you can see there's a few eyes left. I could go in if I'm really anal and, you know, shave off some of the eyes. Some of the eyes that are really dark that look like they might be harboring mold or something, look kind of funky, I'll probably end up cutting off. You know, but I'm not going to sit here forever and cut off each and every one. It's going to take too long. Alright, so we got a lot of those eyes cut off. Let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So now that we got the pineapple cord here, the next step is critical to your success of juicing a pineapple in the Slowstar or any other vertical auger juicer. What we looking at here is the pineapple, and as you guys can see on the pineapple, we got basically a core. If you turn the pineapple over on the bottom, you can definitely see the core really well. We have core in the middle, and then we have a fruit on the outside. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take our knife and we're going to make a tic-tac-toe pattern, right? We're going to make a tic-tac-toe pattern, like cut it here, cut it here, and cut it here, and cut it here. So what we got now is in the middle of the tic-tac-toe pattern, we got the core. We want to separate out the core because the core is the problem child. It's the part of the pineapple that the juicer is going to have the most problems with. So we're going to just go ahead and cut straight down, and we're going to try to keep that core in its own center piece. Now when you cut the pineapple down the middle, you should be able to see part of the core because the fiber structure looks a little bit differently. And you're going to have to adjust your knife cuts. Sometimes the core doesn't run up straight up and down. So as you guys can see, here's my last cut to segregate out the core part. So now here it is. Here's the core part that you guys can see there, and here's where I pulled out the top of the pineapple. So now we got two separate kinds of pieces that we're going to juice. We got this non-core pieces, and we got the core piece. So on the non-core pieces, what I like to do is cut them lengthwise, simply into pieces that are going to feed into the machine. This is very simple and very easy. And I'll cut them lengthwise instead of up and down. So say, you know, the pineapple's this way, instead of cutting them long ways, I'm cutting them lengthwise. We want to cut up the fibers in the pineapple because that's what's really going to, you know, bind that juicer up. So now that we got the fruit all cut up, we're going to cut the core piece. This is the most critical part to cut the core properly. The core is very fibrous. It's these hard fibers that are going to get stuck in the ejection port of the machine and cause it to clog up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the knife and we're going to cut it vertically along the core, and we're going to cut it into little pieces, maybe like 1/8 inch pieces. And be careful not to cut yourself. I am using a nice ceramic knife. They are available at discountjuicers.com. You can see we cut the core into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Now we're going to set this core this direction and then cut it once again going here. So now we're making long strips, and once again be careful when cutting in this way. So now we got little, like I want to say like matchstick like pieces of the pineapple core. Once we got that, then we're going to rotate this way, and now we're literally, what we're going to do is we're going to dice these little pieces up. What we're doing now is we're cutting all the little fibers up that would normally get stuck in the juicer in a small pieces, so now these will no longer get stuck. What we're going to have here are little miniature cubes of the core to juice. Alright, so now that we got the core pieces cubed and the regular fruit pieces, the next thing to do is simply start juicing. So we're going to turn on the Slowstar juicer. Now I like the Slowstar vertical auger juicer because I find it actually gets a higher yield on the leafy greens and carrots than other vertical juicers, vertical auger juicers that I've tested on the market to date. In addition, it's one of the juicers actually that includes a little nice fine sieve strainer. So we're just going to go ahead and put that over our collection cup here, and the juice is going to come out here and go through the strainer to take out any additional fiber. Of course, you can leave the fiber in the juice if you don't mind, but I thought I'd take out the fiber to show you guys what kind of fiber is left in the vertical single auger style machine. The vertical single auger style juicers tend to put more pulp in the juice than other juicers, so I do recommend getting an additional strainer if your juicer did not come with one. This one runs at a low and slow 47 RPMs, which is currently the lowest and slowest juicer in the US that I'm aware of. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on. This guy also is really quiet, unlike the high-speed machines that I don't particularly care for these days. It's really silent because it runs at a lower RPM. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of the standard fruit and just drop it in there. I like on the Slowstar and other vertical auger juicers, literally the machine is self-feeding. So if you cut your pieces small enough, you're just going to drop it in, it's going to self-feed, and you should not be using the pusher. If you're using the pusher to push things in the Slowstar, you're probably pushing too fast. The pusher, in my opinion, should only be used to get things unclogged if it's not going in the machine properly. Next, we're going to put a few more pieces of the standard fruit. And I do want to remind you guys that it's really critical for optimal success. You get nice, hard, firm fruit. You know, the hard, firm fruit is going to juice a lot better. And I know in most cases, hard, firm fruit is not optimally ripe. So for that reason, I recommend you eat fresh, ripe fruit, and, you know, eaten whole or blended, which is better than juicing it. But for the firm stuff, the juicer definitely works good. So as you guys can see, we're juicing some of the fruit here. The juice is coming out over on this side, and we got some of the pulp coming out on this side. Now, after every few pieces of the fruit, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take out some of these little core pieces and dump those through the machine. That's going to help push the softer fruit pieces through the machine. As you guys can see over on this side, we're getting the pulp being ejected. It's working very well. We're going to go ahead and continue to juice a couple more fruit pieces, followed by a bunch of core pieces. This is working very well. Now, one of the things I want to remind you guys is that when juicing, you know, right now out of the outlet port, it's like, John, it's clogged up, man, only like half. It's like the port is this long, but only that much. The stuff is flowing out, like half of it is clogged, but half of it's flowing. As long as pulp is still flowing out of the outlet port, you're totally, you're good. So remember that. If pulp stops coming out and you start seeing pulp coming up the feed chute or, you know, backlog, that's not a good thing. That means you need to adjust your technique. Now, when juicing anything in the Slowstar juicer, I do recommend you alternate feeding produce. So if I was juicing like pineapple and carrots, for instance, you know, I'd put a piece of pineapple and then a piece of carrot. One of the hints I want to give you guys is when juicing any fruit, if it's kind of backing up on you and not doing well, then juice a carrot with it. So have apple carrot juice instead of just straight apple juice, or have apple pineapple juice. If you juice a piece of pineapple, piece of carrot, a piece of pineapple, piece of carrot, it's going to work a lot better than just doing straight pineapple, or a piece of apple, piece of carrot, piece of apple, piece of carrot. A lot better than just apple alone, because apples, for the most part, are very soft texture and they tend to make more of an apple sauce than an apple juice. The juicer really needs that hard fiber to push those soft apples through. Alright, so we're just dropping in pieces one at a time, going very simply, very easily. I have juiced up to 3 firm pineapples in the Slowstar without it backing up. Formally, I could only do like 2 on other vertical auger juicers, but also it's very critical that you get nice, hard, firm pineapple to juice and to do the technique that I've shared, which is my latest technique and best way, actually, that I want to thank a viewer from the UK who shared this one with me, because she figured this one out. Alright, so this is juicing very well. We got a lot of foam here collected in our strainer here, so we're just going to gently tap this down to get some of the juice through there. Let's do another handful of the core pieces, another couple pieces of fruit, and we're going to finish off juicing with the core pieces. So let's see, now we just got a couple more core pieces of juice. Let's go ahead and throw those through the machine. Alright, there we go. We got all the core pieces in there. Looks like it's juicing up fine. Pulp is still ejecting. Once again, it's only come out like half the chute, but it's totally fine. We're going to go ahead and shake this guy down. It's a fair bit frothy here. Alright, so I'm just about done tapping this guy down. We're going to go ahead and turn off the machine. And one of the things I like to do is I'd like to usually take this container as it's dripping and just put it up on the top. Then I'll like to take this container over with the pulp and I'll stick it under the spout in case this drips anymore. And I want to share with you guys the pulp here. This pineapple pulp, we could go ahead and grab it. And as you guys can see, if I squeeze it, we can still squeeze a fair bit of juice out. Not a lot, but this juicer has been very efficient at getting the juice out of the pineapple. Next, we got to do the taste test. Fresh pineapple juice made in the Slowstar. Now you know the perfect technique to do it. Remember, number one, select the proper pineapple or any proper fruit. Nice, hard, and firm. Number two, cut the pineapple appropriately and feed it in and rotate the produce between the fruit pieces and the core pieces properly. This is also important when juicing any other things in the Slowstar juicer. Be sure to stay tuned and subscribe to my channel for future videos on how to juice greens and answering common questions on the Slowstar machine. Let's go ahead and try this baby. Wow. Nice, delicious, rich, pulp-free pineapple juice. Nothing tastes better than fresh made at home with your own juicer. Now you can make fresh pineapple juice for breakfast every morning with your Slowstar juicer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do today is we're going to juice in the Slowstar vertical single auger juicer. At present time, I've been using the Slowstar juicer in the kitchen the most for juice.